The title of Mr. Mister's latest album is Welcome to the Real World, and we asked them if there was any special meaning behind those words.
The title came out of kind of a reawakening within us about what we were writing, and we had made some changes in our writing style and our performance, and we just kind of felt like this was a new rebirth for us, and that's kind of where it came from.
Keyboardist Steve George and the rest of the band told us how they found their producer at a Yes concert.
This guy named Paul DeVilliers, who was mixing for Yes live, and we were looking for someone that we could co-produce with to use as an engineer. And someone told us about Paul, and he was mixing Yes down in Irvine Meadows in Orange County. We went down and heard the sound and thought it was fantastic.
Guitarist Steve Ferris told us about the video for Kyrie.
We shot it in Miami, and it's basically a live performance shoot. We shot a few scenes from some concerts we were doing with Tina Turner, who we've been out on the road with, and it's basically just a performance of the song.
Guitarist Steve Ferris told us that Tina became a good friend and also an advisor.
She really liked the band, which we are all very flattered by because she's so great. And she liked the band enough to be interested enough to call Rich in and even talk to him a couple of times about suggestions for the set or whatever.
The sequencing of tunes.
The sequencing of tunes or things that she thought could make our show a little stronger. And I don't know, we were all very, very flattered by that.
When Mr. Mister decided that Broken Wings would be the first single from their latest album, they put out the word that they were looking for some original ideas for a video. But most of the submissions they got weren't exactly the kind of original ideas that they had in mind.
In a lot of ways, it was like that Phil Collins video for Don't Lose My Number. We had some really wild ideas, you know, some pretty unusual ideas. It was like we were all gladiators, and we all had chicks, and we're in chariots, you know what I mean? It wasn't that ridiculous.
Sandals were really great inside.
You know, and then we're in helicopters, and we're, really, seriously, I mean, people pitched some pretty strange ideas, and along in that stack of ideas was one by a guy named Ole Sassoon about a guy's sort of quest for identity, and it was a real ethereal thing. It had a bird, and he was driving around in a car, and it just seemed like, yeah, you know, that makes sense.
Long before Broken Wings, the members of Mr. Mister were among the most successful studio musicians in Los Angeles. They played and sang backup for a ton of artists, including Rick Springfield, Donna Summer, REO Speedwagon, DeBarge, Eddie Money, Quincy Jones, and Al Jarreau. All that work is definitely a plus now that Mr. Mister are making their own music.
Well, it can only help, obviously, working around people like Quincy Jones and David Foster and Jay Graydon. Producers like that obviously have a lot of expertise, and we've picked up a lot of things from them, and some things have rubbed off on us as far as what we want to bring to our own recording. And I think it's done nothing but help us in the studio environment to be able to be effective and yet still spontaneous and inspirational and all those things that go into making a good magical record.
Proving that sometimes the biggest hits are the easiest to write. Lead singer Richard Page told us how he and his writing partner John Lang came up with Broken Wings.
The song really just, I mean, it happened instantly. It took about as long as it took to play it down, to write. It was one of those songs that just came. And luckily we wrote most of it. Steve came in later and changed a lot of it and added a couple of parts. But the basic part of the tune was written, I mean, literally in about 10 minutes, which doesn't happen very often for me. I don't know about you guys, but we usually labor over songs for a while, but the song just really just happened. The inspiration it's about relationships, it's about reconciliation, it's about living a positive life, it's about being a good person, I guess, I don't know.
Mr. Mister's debut album has provided the band with a second Countdown appearance. But Richard Page, the band's bassist and vocalist, told us that they're already thinking about their second album.
We're more concerned about making a great next album rather than rushing another album out. To us, we feel like the career is really going to happen if we pay as much attention to the music as we did on this Welcome to the Real World album. And I mean by making sure that all the songs are equally as inspirational to the four of us as the ones on Welcome to the Real World. We don't want to just push one out there because we think we have to fill the marketplace. We'd rather make sense and mean something before it goes out. So we'll be doing something soon.